The massive alien ship hung in space like a metal mountain. Its surface was smooth and dark, reflecting the distant stars. Inside the ship, Commander Zephyr 9 studied the data on his glowing screen. His 4 eyes moved quickly as he read the report about the third planet from the yellow star. "Another primitive species," he said to his assistant. His voice made a clicking sound that the ship's computer turned into words. "They call themselves humans." The assistant, a smaller alien with blue skin, nodded. "What is their technology?" "Level, Commander?" Zephyr 9 looked at the numbers again. "They have basic fusion power. Their ships move slowly through space using chemical rockets and simple ion drives. They have spread to a few planets in their star system, but barely. I would say they are maybe 50 years away from real space travel." The blue assistant made notes on his own device. "Should we make contact?" "No," Zephyr 9 said quickly. "The Empire's rules are clear. We do not contact species until they can travel between stars properly. These humans are too young, too weak. They would probably destroy themselves if we gave them advanced technology." Far below, on the third planet, Dr. Alex Carter was having a very different kind of day. He stood in his laboratory on Luna, Earth's moon, staring at readings that made no sense. The numbers on his computer screen kept changing, showing energy levels that should not exist. "Lisa, come look at this," Alex called to his colleague. Dr. Lisa Morgan walked over from her own workstation. She was tired after working for 12 hours straight, but Alex sounded worried. "What is it now?" Lisa asked. She looked at the screen and frowned. "Your equipment is broken again." "That's what I thought too," Alex said. "But I ran the test 5 times. The readings are always the same. There's some kind of energy signature coming from our dark matter experiment. It's unlike anything I've ever seen." Lisa rubbed her eyes. Dark matter was one of the biggest mysteries in science. It made up most of the universe, but nobody understood what it really was. Alex and his team had been trying to study it for 3 years with little success. "Maybe the sensors are picking up radiation from the fusion reactor," Lisa suggested. "Or interference from Earth's magnetic field." Alex shook his head. "I checked all of that. This is something new. The energy pattern keeps repeating every few minutes, like a heartbeat." On Earth, Captain Jake Sullivan was reading his own strange reports. He sat in the command center of the Earth Defense Force, surrounded by screens showing space around the solar system. His job was to watch for threats, asteroids, solar storms, or anything else that might hurt humanity's colonies. "Sir," said one of his officers, "we're getting weird readings from the deep space sensors." Jake walked over to the officer's station. Lieutenant Sam Taylor was young but smart. If he said something was weird, Jake listened. "What kind of readings?" Jake asked. "Energy spikes," Sam said. "They started about 6 hours ago. The computer can't identify the source. It's like something is bending space itself." Jake felt a cold feeling in his stomach. In his 20 years with the Defense Force, he had never seen anything like this. Could it be alien technology? Sam looked uncertain. Maybe. But the energy signature isn't coming from any ship or station. It's coming from empty space. Back. On Luna, Alex was getting more excited by the hour. He had called in his best people to look at the data. Dr. Ryan Brooks, the station's chief engineer, was checking all the equipment. Dr. Maya Patel, who understood physics better than almost anyone, was running calculations. "The math doesn't work," Maya said. She had filled 3 whiteboards with equations. "According to everything we know, this energy pattern is impossible." Ryan looked up from a control panel. "The equipment is fine. I've tested every sensor and computer. Whatever Alex found, it's real. Alex felt his heart beating faster. In science, finding something impossible usually meant you were about to discover something amazing. What if we're seeing dark matter interact with normal matter in a new way? That would change everything, Maya said quietly. Dark matter is supposed to be invisible. It doesn't interact with light or normal matter except through gravity. But what if we're wrong? Alex asked. What if there are conditions where dark matter can be changed or controlled? The three scientists looked at each other. They all understood what this could mean. If dark matter could be controlled, it might be possible to change gravity itself. Ships could travel faster than light. Energy could be created from nothing. The laws of physics as humanity understood them might be completely wrong. Commander. Zephyr 9 would have been shocked if he knew what the humans were discovering. His species had been traveling between stars for over 10,000 years. They had never found a way to control dark matter. Most alien scientists believed it was impossible. The Galactic Empire had rules about primitive species like humans. They were watched, but not contacted. The Empire had learned that giving advanced technology to young civilizations usually ended badly. Most species destroyed themselves within a few generations. But humans were different in ways that Zephyr 9 could not imagine. Where other species followed rules and traditions, humans asked questions. Where other species accepted limits, humans looked for ways around them. Where other species took thousands of years to advance, humans could change everything in a single generation. Alex worked through the night, running test after test. Each experiment gave him more pieces of the puzzle. The energy signatures were getting stronger. Whatever was happening in their dark matter chamber was building up power. We need to shut it down, Lisa said. This could be dangerous. Or it could be the greatest discovery in human history, Alex replied. Give me 1 more hour. Jake Sullivan was also working late, coordinating with observation stations across the solar system. The energy readings were spreading. Similar signatures were appearing near Mars, Jupiter, and even the outer planets. It's like something is waking up, Sam said. The patterns are becoming more complex. Jake nodded. He had sent reports to Earth's government and to the science stations. Everyone was trying to understand what was happening. None of them knew that they were about to change the galaxy forever. In a few hours, Alex would make a discovery that would transform humanity from a primitive species into something that even ancient aliens would fear. Commander Zephyr 9 finished his report and sent it to the Galactic Empire's central database. Classification: primitive. No immediate contact recommended. Estimated time to spacefaring capability: 50 years. He had no idea how wrong he was. Alex Carter had not slept in 24 hours, but his eyes were bright with excitement. The dark matter experiment was doing something incredible. Every few minutes, space itself seemed to twist in the laboratory chamber. The gravitational readings are off the charts, Ryan Brooks said. He was monitoring the equipment from a safe distance. Whatever is happening in there, it's bending space-time. Dr. Maya Patel was writing equations so fast her hand cramped. This is impossible according to our physics. Dark matter shouldn't be able to create this kind of effect. Maybe our physics is wrong, Alex said. He pressed a button to increase the power to the experiment. What if dark matter is like a key, and we just found the lock? The chamber began to glow with a strange blue light. Then something happened that made all three scientists step back in amazement. The air in the center of the chamber began to swirl like water going down a drain, but instead of moving down, it was moving inward, toward a point that wasn't there. "It's a hole in space," Maya whispered. "An actual hole in space." The hole was tiny, smaller than a marble, but it was perfectly stable. Through it, they could see something that shouldn't exist, another place entirely. The view showed stars in patterns none of them recognized. Lisa Morgan rushed into the laboratory after hearing the alarms. She stopped dead when she saw what was floating in the chamber. "What have you done?" "We've created a wormhole," Alex said. His voice was shaking with excitement and fear. "A stable, artificial wormhole." Ryan checked his instruments again. "The energy required to maintain it is minimal. It's like the hole is feeding off the dark matter itself." News of the discovery spread quickly through the Luna research station. Within hours, scientists from Earth were demanding details. The discovery was too important to keep secret. Dr. Nina Foster arrived on the next transport from Earth. She was one of the world's top experts on theoretical physics and had clearance for the most secret projects. When she saw the wormhole, she sat down in the nearest chair. "This changes everything," she said. "If we can make holes in space, we can travel anywhere instantly." Carlos Martinez, Earth's best space engineer, was already thinking about practical uses. "How big can we make it? Could a ship go through?" Alex looked at his data. "The size seems to depend on how much power we put in, but the amazing thing is, once it's stable, it uses almost no energy to maintain." Captain Jake Sullivan received the news at Earth Defense Force headquarters. His first thought was about security. If humans could create wormholes, what other species might have this technology? "We need to protect this discovery," he told his staff. "If there are hostile aliens out there, this could be our only advantage." But Jake was thinking too small. Humans were not getting an advantage. They were about to become the most powerful species in the galaxy. The research team worked around the clock. Maya discovered that the wormholes could be controlled with precise magnetic fields. Ryan figured out how to make them bigger. Alex learned how to create multiple holes at the same time. Within a week, they had opened a wormhole large enough for a person to walk through. The first volunteer was Dr. Kevin Walsh, a brave physicist who stepped through the hole and found himself in a laboratory on Mars. "It works perfectly." Kevin's voice came through the communication system. "No discomfort at all. I stepped through and I was here instantly." Lisa was amazed by how fast everything was moving. "In 1 week, we've gone from discovering wormholes to using them for travel. This usually takes decades." "Humans don't do things the usual way," Alex said with a grin. The discovery created a chain reaction across human civilization. Research. Stations on Mars, Jupiter's moons, and the asteroid belt all began building their own wormhole generators. The technology was surprisingly simple once you understood the basic principles. Dr. Sophie Turner, working on Europa, found that wormholes could be used for more than travel. She discovered how to use them to transport energy instantly across space. A fusion reactor on Earth could power a city on Mars with no delay. Engineer Blake Cooper made another breakthrough. He learned how to create temporary wormholes that lasted only seconds. This made them perfect for sending messages faster than light. Humanity suddenly had instant communication across the solar system. The military applications became obvious quickly. Admiral Rebecca Stone was put in charge of developing defensive uses for the technology. Her team discovered that wormholes could redirect attacks. Enemy weapons could be sent through holes in space to hit empty vacuum instead of their targets. "We're not just getting better transportation," Rebecca told the Earth Government Council. "We're getting technology that makes us nearly impossible to attack." Captain Tyler Adams was chosen to command the first starship with wormhole technology. The ship was called the Terra's Pride, and it could travel anywhere in the galaxy instantly. "The first test will be to Alpha Centauri," Tyler announced to his crew. "We'll be the first humans to leave the solar system using our own technology." The test was scheduled for exactly 1 month after Alex's first discovery. Tyler stood on the bridge of Terra's Pride as his engineer. Lieutenant Commander Matt Johnson prepared the wormhole generator. "Wormhole opening in 3, 2, 1, Matt announced. Space twisted in front of the ship. A hole opened that was large enough for the entire vessel to pass through. Through it, they could see the binary stars of Alpha Centauri. "All systems green," reported Communications Officer Amanda Price. "The wormhole is stable," Tyler gave the order. "Take us through." Terra's Pride moved forward and disappeared from Earth's solar system. 1 second later, it emerged near Alpha Centauri, over 4 light-years away. "We did it," Tyler said quietly. Then louder, "We actually did it!" Back on Earth, the celebration was incredible. Humans had just proven they could travel to other star systems instantly. The age of human expansion had begun, but none of them knew they were being watched. Deep space sensors belonging to the Galactic Empire had detected the Terra's Pride's arrival at Alpha Centauri. The readings made no sense to the alien observers. According to their instruments, a primitive human ship had just traveled faster than light using technology that shouldn't exist. The ship had appeared from nowhere with no warning and no explanation. "Commander, Zephyr 9 received an emergency message while he was sleeping. When he read it, he sat up so fast he hurt his neck." "Impossible," he said to himself. "The humans are supposed to be primitive. They can't have faster-than-light travel." But the sensor data was clear. Somehow, in less than 1 month, humans had advanced from basic spaceflight to technology that rivaled the Empire's best ships. Zephyr 9 sent an urgent message to his superiors. For the first time in 1,000 years, the Galactic Empire was confused about a primitive species. On Terra's Pride, Tyler and his crew were exploring the Alpha Centauri system. They had no idea their presence was causing panic in alien command centers across the galaxy. "Should we head home?" Matt asked. "Not yet," Tyler said. "Let's see what else is out here." The ship opened another wormhole and disappeared again, heading deeper into space. Each jump took them further from Earth and closer to contact with an empire that was no longer sure what to make of humanity. 3 months after the first wormhole opened, human civilization had transformed completely. What started as one discovery in Alex Carter's laboratory had become a technological revolution that amazed even the scientists who created it. Dr. Nina Foster stood in the main conference room at Earth's Space Development Center, looking at reports from across the solar system. Every human colony was building new technology based on wormhole physics. "The rate of advancement is incredible," she told the assembled scientists and military leaders. "We're developing new applications faster than we can test them." Carlos Martinez nodded from his seat at the table. In 3 months, he had designed and built 17 different types of ships using wormhole technology. It's like the discovery unlocked something in human thinking. Every day, someone finds a new way to use this technology. Admiral Rebecca Stone had news that excited everyone. "Our defense systems are now completely operational. We can create wormholes that redirect any attack back at the enemy. We can also move our ships instantly to any location where they're needed." Captain Tyler Adams had returned from his 5th deep space mission the day before. Each trip took him further from Earth and showed him more of the galaxy. There are other civilizations out there, he reported. We've detected ships and communication signals from at least 12 different species. Dr. Kevin Walsh raised his hand. What's our contact protocol? Do we try to communicate with them? Not yet, Rebecca said. We need to understand what we're dealing with first. Some of these civilizations might be hostile. What Rebecca didn't know was that the hostile ones were more afraid of humans than humans were of them. Sophie Turner had made the most recent breakthrough. Working from her laboratory on Europa, she had discovered how to use wormholes to manipulate matter itself. By opening tiny holes in space inside solid objects, she could change their structure completely. I can turn lead into gold, Sophie announced during a video conference. I can make diamond harder than anything we've ever seen. I can even create materials that don't exist naturally. Alex Carter, who had started everything, was working on something even more amazing. He had learned how to use dark matter as a power source. The energy was unlimited and completely clean. We don't need fusion reactors anymore, Alex explained to the research team. Dark matter generators can provide more power than our entire civilization uses, with no pollution and no fuel requirements. Maya Patel was developing weapons that made nuclear bombs look like firecrackers. Wormhole weapons can deliver explosions directly inside enemy ships, she said. There's no defense against them because the attack comes from inside the target. Ryan Brooks had solved the problem of manufacturing. Using wormhole technology, he could move raw materials instantly from asteroids to factories on Earth. Production time for complex items had dropped from months to hours. We can build a starship in one day, Ryan announced, complete with all systems and ready for space. The first ship built with the new methods was called the New Horizon. Captain Lauren Davis was chosen to command it. The ship was unlike anything humans had built before. It could open wormholes large enough for entire fleets to travel through. Its shields could deflect any weapon. Its sensors could detect movement across light years of space. This ship is more advanced than anything we imagined possible 6 months ago, Lauren told her crew during the first test flight. We're not just exploring space anymore. We're becoming a spacefaring civilization. Communications officer Matt Johnson was testing the ship's new systems when he detected something unusual. Captain, I'm picking up artificial signals. Someone is trying to communicate with us. Lauren looked at the data on her screen. It's not human. The signal pattern is completely different from our technology. Should we respond? Matt asked. Send a basic mathematical sequence, Lauren decided. Let's see if they respond. The answer came back within minutes. It was complex and clearly intelligent. Someone out there was trying to talk to them. Dr. Amanda Price, the ship's science officer, analyzed the signal. The communication is sophisticated. Whoever sent this has advanced technology. What Amanda didn't know was that the signal came from a Galactic Empire patrol ship. The aliens were desperately trying to understand how humans had advanced so quickly. Commander Zephyr 9 was no longer sleeping well. Every day brought new reports about impossible human technology. His superiors were demanding answers he couldn't provide. The humans have appeared in 17 different star systems, his assistant reported. Their ships show no energy signatures we recognize. They appear and disappear without warning. How is this possible? Zephyr 9 asked for the 100th time. 1 month ago, they were using chemical rockets. Now they have technology we don't understand. The assistant looked worried. Some of our scientists think the humans might have found ancient technology left behind by the Builders. The Builders were a mysterious race that had disappeared millions of years ago. They had left behind artifacts that even the Empire couldn't fully understand. "If the humans have builder technology, we have a serious problem," Zephyr 9 said. Back on the New Horizon, Lauren was making first contact with the alien ship. The communication was going well until something unexpected happened. Captain Matt reported, "The alien ship is powering up weapons." "Shields up," Lauren ordered. "But don't return fire. We don't know their intentions." The alien weapons fired energy beams that should have destroyed the New Horizon instantly. Instead, the beams hit the ship's wormhole shields and disappeared into empty space. "Their weapons had no effect," Amanda reported. "Our shields redirected the energy through wormholes to a safe location." Lauren made a decision that would change galactic history. Instead of fighting back, she demonstrated human technology in a way that would terrify the Empire. "Open a small wormhole inside their ship," she ordered. "Don't hurt anyone, just disable their weapons." Matt used the ship's precise wormhole controls to open tiny holes inside the alien vessel. The holes removed key components from the weapons systems without harming the crew. The effect on the alien ship was immediate. All their weapons stopped working. Their shields failed. Their engines went offline. In seconds, the most advanced warship in their fleet had become helpless. "Send them." "Another mathematical sequence," Lauren said. "Let them know we could have hurt them but chose not to." The response from the alien ship was immediate surrender. Commander Zephyr 9 received the report an hour later. A single human ship had disabled one of the Empire's best warships without firing a shot. The humans had reached inside the ship using some kind of space-bending technology and simply turned off their weapons. "This is impossible," Zephyr 9 said. "No species has this kind of technology." His assistant was reading more reports. "Sir, we're getting similar stories from across the galaxy. Human ships are appearing everywhere. They seem to be exploring, but they're demonstrating capabilities that our best scientists say shouldn't exist." Zephyr 9 made the most important decision of his career. "Send an emergency message to the Empire's High Command. Tell them the humans are not primitive. Tell them we may have discovered a civilization more advanced than our own." On Earth, President Helen Barnes was meeting with her advisors. The reports from space were incredible but also concerning. "We've advanced further in 4 months than in the previous century," she said. "But we need to be careful. There are other civilizations out there, and some of them might see us as a threat." General Troy Mitchell agreed. "Our technology is advancing so fast that even we don't fully understand it. We need to make sure we use it responsibly." Dr. Ashley Clark, the government's chief science advisor, had been studying the reports from all human research stations. "The exponential growth is continuing. Every breakthrough leads to 2 more discoveries. At this rate, we'll have technology in a year that we can't even imagine today." What none of them realized was that they already had technology that would make them gods in the eyes of most galactic civilizations, and they were just getting started. Admiral Crix 7 had commanded Galactic Empire fleets for over 300 years. In all that time, he had never seen anything that worried him. The Empire's technology was superior to every species they had encountered. Their ships were the most advanced in the galaxy. That confidence was about to be shattered. "Admiral," reported his sensor officer, "we have detected multiple energy signatures in the Kepler 442 system. The patterns are unlike anything in our database." Crix 7 looked at the readings on his command screen. The energy signatures were moving in ways that violated the known laws of physics. Objects were appearing and disappearing across the star system with no transition time. Could it be a natural phenomenon? he asked. Negative, sir. The patterns are clearly artificial. Someone is using technology we don't recognize. Crix 7 made a decision. Set course for Kepler 442. I want to investigate these readings personally. What he didn't know was that the readings came from Captain Lauren Davis and her ship, the New Horizon. Lauren was conducting surveys of nearby star systems, mapping the galaxy, and looking for signs of intelligent life. We found another solar system with planets that could support life, reported Dr. Amanda Price from her science station. The fourth planet has an atmosphere very similar to Earth's. Communications Officer Matt Johnson was monitoring all frequencies for artificial signals. I'm detecting something, Captain. Multiple ships are approaching our position. Lauren looked at her tactical display. 6 large vessels were moving toward them at high speed. The ships were clearly alien and heavily armed. Open a channel, Lauren ordered. Let's try to communicate with them. The alien fleet was Admiral Crix 7's Border Patrol Squadron. They had been sent to investigate the strange energy readings and determine if they represented a threat to the Empire. Sir, reported the communication officer on Crix 7's flagship. We're receiving a transmission from the unknown vessel. What kind of transmission? Mathematical sequences, sir. Basic mathematical concepts followed by what appears to be a greeting. Crix 7 was surprised. Mathematical communication was the standard way to make first contact with new species. These unknown aliens were following proper protocols. Send a response, he ordered. Let them know we want to communicate. On the New Horizon, Matt received the alien response and translated it using the ship's advanced computer systems. They're trying to talk to us, Captain. The message includes what looks like language patterns. Can you translate it? Lauren asked. The computer is working on it, Matt replied. Their language is complex, but we're making progress. Within minutes, the New Horizons quantum computers had analyzed the alien language enough to establish basic communication. The first translated message was shocking. They're asking us to identify ourselves, Matt reported. They want to know what species we are and how we developed faster-than-light travel. Lauren was confused. Why would they assume we have faster-than-light travel? Amanda checked her sensor readings. Captain, I think I know why. To them, it must look like we appeared from nowhere. They don't understand our wormhole technology. Admiral Crix 7's ship, the analysis of the unknown vessel was causing considerable concern. The ship showed energy patterns that their best scientists couldn't explain. Sir, reported the science officer, the unknown vessel is using some form of space manipulation technology. They appear to be creating artificial gravity wells that allow instantaneous travel. That's impossible, Crix 7 said. No species has mastered that technology. The energy requirements would be enormous. The readings suggest they're using minimal energy, sir. Whatever method they're using, it's incredibly efficient. Crix 7 felt a cold sensation that his species experienced when facing danger. Are they from an ancient civilization? Could they be descendants of the Builders? Before the science officer could answer, something happened that changed everything. The unknown ship simply vanished from their sensors. Where did they go? Crix 7 demanded. Unknown, sir. They didn't move away. They just stopped existing in this location. A second later, the ship reappeared directly in front of Crix 7's flagship. It had moved several thousand kilometers instantly, without any apparent propulsion. On the New Horizon, Lauren had decided to demonstrate human capabilities to avoid any misunderstanding. I want these aliens to know we're peaceful, but capable of defending ourselves. The maneuver definitely got their attention. Matt reported. They're sending urgent communications. The translated message made Lauren smile. They're asking how we moved so quickly. They seem impressed. What Lauren didn't realize was that she had just demonstrated technology that the Galactic Empire considered mythical. Instant teleportation across space was something their greatest scientists said was impossible. Admiral Crix 7 was trying to understand what he had witnessed. Contact Imperial Command immediately. Tell them we have encountered a species with technology beyond our current understanding. What should we tell them about the species, sir? Crix 7 looked at the unknown ship on his screen. It was smaller than his flagship, but clearly more advanced. Tell them we may have found the humans. The humans, sir? But they're classified as primitive. Classification error, Crix 7 said grimly. These humans are anything but primitive. The communication between the two fleets continued for several hours. The aliens, who called themselves the Altarian Fleet, were part of something called the Galactic Empire. They had been spacefaring for thousands of years and controlled hundreds of star systems. They seem peaceful, Amanda reported to Lauren, but they're clearly military. This is a patrol fleet, not explorers. Lauren made a decision that would echo across the galaxy. We're going to show them exactly what human technology can do, but we'll do it in a way that proves we're not aggressive. She ordered her crew to demonstrate several human technologies. First, they opened multiple wormholes around the alien fleet, allowing the aliens to see other star systems through the holes. Then they showed their defensive capabilities. When Admiral Crix 7 agreed to a demonstration, Lauren had her crew disable his ship's weapons using precise wormhole manipulation, then restore them moments later. We removed and replaced components inside their ship without opening their hull, Amanda reported. They're completely helpless against our technology. The final demonstration was the most impressive. Lauren opened a wormhole large enough for Crix 7's entire fleet to travel through, showing them they could move massive objects across the galaxy instantly. Admiral Crix 7 sat in stunned silence as he watched capabilities that redefined what was possible. These humans had technology that made the Empire's best ships look primitive. Sir, his communication officer said quietly, they're sending another message. The translation appeared on Crix 7's screen. We hope this demonstrates that humans seek peaceful contact with other civilizations. We have no desire for conflict, but we are capable of defending ourselves if necessary. Crix 7 looked around his bridge at his terrified crew. Every alien on his ship understood what they had witnessed. The humans weren't just advanced. They were beyond anything the Empire had ever encountered. Send a message to Imperial Command, he ordered. Tell them the human classification must be changed immediately. These are not primitives. These might be the most advanced beings in the galaxy. What classification should I recommend, sir? Crix 7 thought for a long moment. In his 300 years of service, he had never encountered a species that could disable his ship without firing a shot, transport objects instantly across space, or demonstrate such precise control over the fundamental forces of the universe. Classification: unknown. Capabilities: beyond current Imperial understanding. Threat level: absolute if hostile, invaluable if allied. Lauren received confirmation that her message of peaceful intent had been understood. The alien fleet was withdrawing, but not in fear. They were returning to report what they had learned. Should we follow them? Matt asked. No, Lauren said. Let them report to their superiors. We've made our point. Now we wait to see how their empire responds to learning that humans exist. What Lauren didn't know was that her demonstration would cause panic across a galactic empire that had ruled unchallenged for millennia. Within days, every major alien civilization would know that a new power had emerged in the galaxy, and they would all be wondering the same thing. Were these humans friends or enemies? The answer would reshape the galaxy forever. Empress Vex Prime had ruled the Galactic Empire for over 2 centuries. In all that time, no single report had ever made her leave her throne room and walk to the military command center. Admiral Crick Seven's report about the humans changed that. "Show me the recordings again," she commanded her top advisors. Her voice carried the authority of someone who controlled 1,000 worlds. The holographic display showed the human ship appearing and disappearing at will. It showed weapons being removed from inside Imperial ships without damaging the hull. It showed wormholes opening that connected distant parts of space. "How long ago did we classify these humans as primitive?" the Empress asked, senior analyst. Quor 8 checked his records. "6 months ago, Your Majesty. Commander Zephyr 9 reported them as barely capable of interplanetary travel. And now they demonstrate technology that our best scientists say is impossible," the Empress said. Her 4 arms gestured angrily. "Either our classification system is completely broken, or these humans have advanced faster than any species in galactic history." "There is a third possibility, Your Majesty," said ancient advisor Mex Prime. He was the oldest member of the Council and had studied galactic history for over 500 years. "The humans may have discovered builder technology." The room fell silent. Builder technology was legendary. The builders had vanished millions of years ago, leaving behind artifacts that even the Empire couldn't fully understand. If the humans had found a builder cache, it would explain their impossible advancement. "I want a full investigation," the Empress declared. "Send our best intelligence team to human space. I want to know everything about their technology, their culture, and their intentions." "Your Majesty," Quor 8 said carefully, "Admiral Crick 7 reports that human technology can detect and disable our ships easily. A covert investigation may be impossible. Then we'll find out just how advanced they really are," the Empress replied. The Empire's most elite intelligence ship, the Shadow Wing, was commanded by Captain Vortex 12. His ship was designed to be invisible to all known detection methods. It used advanced stealth technology that had never been detected by any species. "Our mission is to observe human colonies and determine the source of their technology," Vortex 12 briefed his crew. "We will not make contact. We will not be detected. We will simply watch and learn." The Shadow Wing's first target was the human colony on Mars. The ship approached the planet using its stealth systems, confident that primitive humans would never detect them. That confidence lasted exactly 17 minutes. Lieutenant Commander Steve Parker was monitoring space around Mars from the Orbital Defense Station. His job was routine, watching for asteroids, space debris, and other hazards. The new quantum sensors had made the job much easier. They could detect any object within millions of kilometers. "That's odd," Steve said to his assistant. "I'm getting readings that don't match any known object." The readings showed a distortion in space where nothing should exist. The distortion had mass and was moving, but it wasn't visible to normal sensors. "Could it be a cloaked ship?" asked his assistant, Lieutenant Carol Adams. "Only one way to find out," Steve said. He activated a new detection system based on wormhole technology. It could sense gravitational distortions that no stealth system could hide. On the Shadow Wing, Captain Vortex 12 was confident his mission was proceeding perfectly. His ship was completely invisible to the primitive human sensors. Then every alarm on his ship began screaming at once. "Captain," reported his sensor officer, "the humans are scanning us with some kind of gravitational detection system. Our stealth fields are useless against it." "That's impossible," Vortex 12 said. "No species has gravitational scanners that advanced." "Sir, they're sending us a message." The message appeared on Vortex 12's screen in perfect Altarian language. "Unknown vessel, you are detected and being tracked. Please identify yourself or leave this system immediately." Vortex 12 stared at the message. The humans had not only detected his invisible ship, they had somehow learned his language well enough to communicate fluently. On Mars, Dr. Rachel Kim was analyzing the readings from the cloaked ship. Her specialty was quantum consciousness interfaces, technology that allowed instant communication across any distance. "The ship is definitely alien," she reported to Steve Parker. "But here's the interesting part. I can detect thought patterns from inside the ship." "Thought patterns?" Steve asked. "Our quantum consciousness technology can sense intelligent minds," Rachel explained. "There are 17 alien minds on that ship, and they're very confused and frightened. What Rachel didn't mention was that human technology could now do much, more than detect thoughts. With the right equipment, they could read those thoughts directly." Captain Vortex 12 made the decision to withdraw. His mission was clearly impossible if the humans could detect his ship and communicate in his language. "Set course for the edge of the system," he ordered. "Maximum speed." The Shadow Wing turned to leave, but something unexpected happened. Space around the ship began to twist, and suddenly they were no longer moving toward the edge of the system. They were moving toward Mars. "Captain," the navigation officer reported in panic, "we're caught in some kind of space distortion. Our engines are working, but we're moving in the wrong direction." On the Mars Defense Station, Steve Parker was demonstrating human technology to the alien ship. Using precise wormhole manipulation, his team had created a gravitational current that was pulling the alien vessel toward them. "Should we let them go?" Carol asked. "Not yet," Steve replied. "Let's show them what we can do." The Shadow Wing found itself trapped in a current of twisted space. No matter what Vortex 12 tried, he couldn't break free. The ship was being gently but irresistibly pulled toward the human colony. "This is impossible," Vortex 12 said. "They're controlling space itself." When the Shadow Wing was close enough, the humans did something that terrified the alien crew. They opened a communication portal directly inside the ship's bridge. A shimmering hole appeared in the air, and through it, the aliens could see a human control room. A young human male was looking at them with curious but friendly eyes. "Hello?" Steve Parker said through the portal. "We detected your ship observing our colony. We're not hostile, but we'd like to know who you are and why you're here." Captain Vortex 12 looked around his bridge at his terrified crew. The humans had just opened a hole in space inside his ship. They could have filled the bridge with poison gas or explosive charges. Instead, they were politely asking questions. "We are observers," Vortex 12 said carefully. "We meant no harm." "We know," Steve replied. "Our consciousness scanners detected your intentions. You're here to learn about human technology, aren't you?" The fact that humans could read thoughts directly was perhaps the most frightening revelation yet. Vortex 12 realized that keeping secrets from these beings was impossible. "Yes," he admitted, "our empire wants to understand how you advanced." "So quickly," Steve smiled. "That's reasonable. We'd like to understand your technology too. Would you be interested in a peaceful exchange of information?" What happened next would be reported across the Empire as the most shocking event in galactic history. Instead of being hostile or secretive, the humans offered to share their technology freely. Dr. Rachel Kim joined the conversation through the portal. "We could arrange a formal meeting between our governments," she suggested. "Peaceful contact between our civilizations could benefit everyone." Captain Vortex 12 was struggling to understand. Every other advanced species in the galaxy guarded their technology jealously. Wars had been fought over far less advanced discoveries. Yet here were the humans offering to share the most revolutionary technology ever discovered. "You would share your knowledge with strangers?" he asked. "Why not?" Steve replied. "Knowledge is meant to be shared. Besides, we're curious about your civilization, too." After 2 hours of conversation, the humans released the Shadow Wing from their gravitational trap. But they did so in a way that demonstrated even more advanced capabilities. Instead of simply letting the ship go, they opened a massive wormhole that connected the edge of human space directly to Imperial territory. The Shadow Wing could return home instantly instead of spending weeks in normal space travel. "This wormhole will remain open for the next 24 hours, Steve explained. "That should give your superiors time to decide if they want formal contact with humanity." As the Shadow Wing passed through the wormhole, Captain Vortex 12 looked back at the human colony. In a few hours, he had witnessed technology that redefined what was possible. The humans could detect any ship, read any mind, control space itself, and travel anywhere instantly. Most terrifying of all, they seemed genuinely peaceful and willing to share their power with others. When the Shadow Wing emerged in Imperial space, Vortex 12 immediately sent an emergency message to Empress Vex Prime. The message was simple but world-changing. "The humans are not just advanced, Your Majesty. They have achieved capabilities that make them godlike, and they want to be our friends." The Empress read the message 3 times before she believed it. Then she did something no Galactic Empire ruler had ever done before. She called an emergency session of the Imperial Council to discuss surrender terms. Dr. Alex Carter stood in his laboratory, staring at readings that should have been impossible. 6 months after creating the first wormhole, he had discovered something that made even him question the laws of reality. "Run the test again," he told his assistant, Dr. Blake Cooper. "I need to be absolutely certain about this." Blake activated the quantum manipulation chamber for the 5th time that day. The results were always the same. Inside the chamber, atoms were rearranging themselves according to Alex's mental commands, transmitted through a consciousness interface. "Alex," Blake said quietly, "we're not just manipulating space anymore. We're controlling the fundamental, building blocks of matter itself." The implications were staggering. If humans could control matter at the quantum level, they could create anything from nothing. They could transform any element into any other element. They could even create new forms of matter that had never existed before. "Show me the biological applications," Alex said. Dr. Chloe Adams, who had joined the team 2 weeks earlier, activated another chamber. Inside, damaged tissue samples were regenerating at impossible speeds. Missing organs were growing back. Even DNA damage was being repaired automatically. "We can heal anything," Chloe reported. "Cancer, genetic diseases, even death itself if the brain hasn't been damaged too long." Alex felt a mixture of excitement and fear. Humanity had stumbled onto technology that was essentially magic. They could create, heal, and transform anything they chose. "We need to tell the president immediately," Blake said. On the other side of the galaxy, ancient advisor Mex Prime was studying reports that made no sense. Human ships had been observed doing things that violated every known law of physics. "Show." Me, the Kepler 442 incident again, he told his assistants. The holographic display showed a human ship restoring a dead star. The star had collapsed into a white dwarf millions of years ago, but somehow the humans had reversed the process. They had taken dead stellar matter and turned it back into a living, burning star. "How is this possible?" asked junior analyst Nick 7. "It's not," Mex Prime replied. "According to our science, stellar revival is impossible. The energy requirements would be greater than the output of an entire galaxy." Then how did they do it? Mex Prime had been studying ancient texts for 500 years. He had read every legend about the mysterious builders who had vanished millions of years ago. Even the builders had never demonstrated this level of power. "I don't think they're using energy in the way we understand it," he said finally. "I think they've learned to manipulate the fundamental code of reality itself." Captain Gary Thompson was demonstrating exactly that kind of power. His ship, the New Earth, had been sent to the Proxima Centauri system, where a massive asteroid was about to destroy an inhabited planet. "The asteroid is too large to deflect using conventional methods," reported Science Officer Dr. Victoria Wells. "It's the size of Earth's moon and moving at 30 kilometers per second. "Conventional methods won't work," Gary agreed. "But we don't use conventional methods anymore." He activated the ship's quantum manipulation system. Instead of trying to move or destroy the asteroid, he simply changed its atomic structure. In less than 5 minutes, solid rock became harmless gas that dispersed into space. The inhabitants of the planet below watched in amazement as their certain doom simply evaporated. The humans had saved their world by turning a moon-sized asteroid into a cloud of vapor. "Send a message to the planet," Gary ordered. "Tell them they're safe." Dr. Alex Carter's discovery was changing human civilization as fast as any technology they had developed. Within days of his breakthrough, quantum manipulation chambers were being built on every human world. Dr. Grace Turner, working on Luna, discovered she could create new materials with properties that defied physics. She made metal that was stronger than diamond, but lighter than air. She created crystals that stored unlimited amounts of energy. She even developed substances that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Engineer Carlos Martinez used the technology to solve humanity's resource problems forever. Instead of mining asteroids, he could simply create any element needed from basic hydrogen. Iron, gold, platinum, even exotic elements that didn't exist naturally, all could be produced instantly in any quantity. "We don't need to strip mine planets anymore," Carlos announced to the Earth Government Council. "We can create everything we need from empty space." The military applications were even more revolutionary. Admiral Ethan Davis commanded the newest human ship, the Reality's Edge. The ship could do things that seemed like magic to outside observers. "Admiral," reported Weapons Officer Lieutenant Kevin Walsh, "the test is ready." Ethan nodded. "Proceed with the demonstration." The Reality's Edge was conducting a test in an empty star system. The target was a lifeless planet similar to Mars. Using quantum manipulation technology, the ship began transforming the entire world. First, they created a magnetic field from nothing, protecting the planet from solar radiation. Then they generated an atmosphere by converting space dust into breathable air. Next, they created oceans by transforming rock into water at the molecular level. The final step was the most impressive. They created life itself, generating ecosystems from basic elements and infusing them with biological patterns copied from Earth. "Transformation complete," Kevin reported. "Total time, 4 hours and 17 minutes. In less than 5 hours, Humans had taken a dead rock and turned it into a living world complete with forests, oceans, and wildlife. They had essentially played God on a planetary scale. The demonstration was being observed by ships from 12 different alien civilizations. The reaction was immediate and unprecedented. "The humans just created life," reported Captain Zex4 of the Aquarian Federation to his superiors. "Not just life, an entire biosphere. They took dead matter and made it alive." Similar reports flooded into governments across the galaxy. The humans hadn't just advanced their technology, they had transcended the normal laws of physics and biology. Empress Vex Prime was preparing for her trip to Earth when she received the most shocking report yet. Her best scientists had analyzed all available data about human capabilities and reached a conclusion that terrified them. "Your Majesty," reported Chief Scientist Quantum Prime, "the humans have achieved what our oldest legends describe as impossible. They can manipulate matter, energy, space, and time at will. They can create and destroy on any scale they choose." "What does that make them?" the Empress asked. "Gods, Your Majesty. By any definition we understand, the humans have become gods." On Earth, President Helen Barnes was meeting with her top advisors to discuss the implications of humanity's new abilities. "We can solve every problem," reported Dr. Ashley Clark. "Hunger, disease, poverty, environmental damage, we can fix all of it instantly." "But should we?" asked General Troy Mitchell. "This much power in the hands of any species is dangerous. What if we make mistakes? What if we accidentally destroy something we can't recreate?" President Barnes understood his concern. In less than a year, humanity had evolved from a struggling spacefaring civilization to beings capable of reshaping reality itself. "We need safeguards," she decided. "And we need to be very careful about how we use these abilities." Dr. Alex Carter was working on exactly that problem. He had discovered that consciousness played a crucial role in quantum manipulation. The technology responded to thoughts and intentions, which meant it could be influenced by emotions and subconscious desires. "We need training protocols," Alex told the research team. "Anyone using this technology needs to understand the responsibility that comes with it." The first test of human godlike responsibility came from an unexpected source. The Draconian Republic, the most aggressive civilization in the galaxy, sent a desperate message to Earth. "Human leaders," the message read, "our homeworld is dying from a plague we cannot cure. We who have threatened you now beg for your help." President Barnes didn't hesitate. "Send the Reality's Edge immediately." Admiral Ethan Davis arrived at the Draconian homeworld to find a civilization on the brink of extinction. The plague was unlike anything human doctors had seen. It attacked the mind as well as the body, driving victims insane before killing them. "The Draconians created this plague as a weapon," reported Dr. Victoria Wells. "But it mutated beyond their control and infected their own population." "Can you cure it?" Ethan asked. "I can do better than cure it," Victoria replied. "I can reverse all the damage it's caused and make them immune to similar diseases forever." The treatment took 6 hours. Using quantum manipulation, Victoria rewrote the genetic code of every Draconian on the planet, removing the plague and strengthening their immune systems. She even repaired the brain damage that had driven many victims insane. When the treatment was complete, War Chief Scartalon sent a message that stunned his own people and the entire galaxy. "The humans have saved us," he announced. "We who threatened them have been shown mercy and healing. From this day forward, the Draconian Republic pledges eternal alliance with humanity." The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The most aggressive species in known space had voluntarily submitted to human leadership, not through conquest or threat, but through an act of mercy that saved their entire civilization. The news spread across the galactic empire like a virus. Within hours of Captain Vortex 12's report, every major world knew that humans had advanced from primitive to godlike in less than a year. The reaction was immediate and terrifying. On the industrial world of Kepler 438b, factories stopped production as workers gathered around communication screens. The Vegan Mining Collective suspended all operations in deep space. Even the warlike Draconian Republic, which had never shown fear of anyone, began moving their fleets to defensive positions. Empress Vex Prime watched the panic spread from her throne room. Reports flooded in from across the Empire's 1,000 worlds. Some civilizations were demanding military action against humanity. Others wanted to surrender immediately. A few were trying to hide their planets using experimental stealth technology. "Your Majesty," reported Communications Director Hex 9, "we're receiving over 10,000 urgent messages per hour. Every member civilization wants to know what the Empire plans to do about the humans. What can we do?" the Empress asked her advisors. According to Vortex 12's report, the humans can appear anywhere instantly, disable any ship without firing a weapon, and read thoughts directly. How do you fight an enemy like that? Ancient advisor Mex Prime had been studying the reports for hours. "Perhaps, Your Majesty, the question is not how to fight them, but whether we should fight them at all." Explain. The humans demonstrated overwhelming technological superiority, but they chose to communicate peacefully. They could have destroyed Captain Vortex 12's ship, but instead they offered friendship. This suggests they are not conquerors. General Troy Mitchell was having a very different conversation in the human capital of New Geneva on Earth. As Earth's chief military advisor, he was coordinating humanity's response to the galactic situation. "We're detecting massive fleet movements across the galaxy," he reported to President Helen Barnes. "Some civilizations are preparing for war. Others are trying to hide from us." President Barnes looked tired. The weight of leading humanity into a galactic community was enormous. "What's our military status?" "We have 17 ships with full wormhole technology," Troy replied. "Each ship is more capable than anything the aliens have, but we're vastly outnumbered. If the entire galaxy decided to attack us, we'd have a problem." Dr. Ashley Clark, the government's science advisor, disagreed. "General, I think you're underestimating our capabilities. Our defensive systems can redirect any attack through wormholes. We could send their own weapons back at them." "That's true for normal weapons," Troy said. "But what if they have planet-killing technology? What if they decide to destroy Earth from a distance?" The question hung in the air like a threat. Humanity had advanced incredibly fast, but they were still new to galactic politics. They didn't know what other civilizations were capable of. President Barnes made a decision that would echo across the galaxy. "We're going to be proactive. General Mitchell, I want you to lead diplomatic missions to the major alien civilizations. Dr. Clark, I want you to prepare a demonstration of our peaceful intentions." "What kind of demonstration?" Ashley asked. "Show them that we're not conquerors. Show them that human technology can help solve problems, not just create them." On the Draconian homeworld, War Chief Scar Talon was holding an emergency meeting of the Military Council. The Draconians were the most aggressive species in the galaxy, but even they were reconsidering their position. "The humans destroyed no ships and killed no one," reported Intelligence Chief Venom Strike. but they demonstrated the ability to disable our most advanced vessels without effort. Could we win a war against them? Scar Talon asked. Venom strikes. Response chilled the room. War Chief, the humans can appear anywhere instantly and attack from inside our ships. They can read our thoughts and predict our strategies. A war with humanity would not be a battle. It would be extermination. Similar conversations were happening across the galaxy. The peaceful Aquarian Federation was debating whether to offer alliance with humanity. The trade-focused merchant worlds were wondering if they could benefit from human technology. Even the mysterious psionic collective was concerned about beings who could read thoughts without psionic abilities. Admiral Scott Davis commanded humanity's newest ship, the Stellar Guardian. His mission was to visit the Vegan mining collective and demonstrate human peaceful intentions. The Vegans were a practical species who valued efficiency above all else. They had been mining asteroids and dead planets for thousands of years, slowly depleting the galaxy's resources. Approaching Vega Prime, reported Lieutenant Sarah Wilson from the navigation station. The planet shows signs of severe environmental damage. Scott looked at the planet through the ship's sensors. Vega Prime had once been beautiful, but centuries of mining had turned it into a wasteland. The Vegans had destroyed their own world in pursuit of resources. "Captain," said Science Officer Danny Walsh, "I'm detecting massive pollution in the atmosphere. The Vegans are poisoning themselves." "Open a communication channel," Scott ordered. "Let's see if we can help." The response from Vega Prime was immediate and hostile. "Human vessel, you will leave this system immediately or face destruction." Scott remained calm. "We come in peace. We detected environmental problems on your planet and wondered if we could assist." "We need no assistance from primitives," came the reply. Scott smiled. The Vegans still thought humans were primitive. That was about to change. "Permission to demonstrate our capabilities?" he asked his crew. "Demonstration authorized," replied Dr. Chloe Adams, the ship's environmental specialist. The Stellar Guardian moved into orbit around Vega Prime. Then it did something that made every vegan on the planet stop what they were doing and stare at the sky. Using precise wormhole technology, the ship began cleaning the planet's atmosphere. Massive holes opened in space, sucking out pollutants and replacing them with clean air from uninhabited worlds. The process was visible from the planet's surface as streams of dirty air vanished and fresh air appeared. "What are you doing?" demanded the vegan planetary commander. "Fixing your air," Scott replied simply. "This will take about 6 hours." What followed was the most impressive demonstration of terraforming technology the galaxy had ever seen. The Stellar Guardian didn't just clean the atmosphere. It restored the oceans by bringing clean water through wormholes. It replanted the forests by transporting seeds and soil from Earth. It even repaired the planet's damaged magnetic field using controlled gravitational manipulation. Within 12 hours, Vega Prime had been transformed from a dying wasteland into a garden world more beautiful than it had been in 1,000 years. The Vegan planetary commander's next communication was very different. How did you do this?" "Human technology," Scott explained. "We can restore any damaged planet. We can provide unlimited clean energy. We can solve resource shortages by accessing materials from uninhabited worlds." "Why would you help us?" the Vegan asked. "What do you want in return?" "Nothing," Scott said. "We're demonstrating that humans are not conquerors. We're potential partners." News of Vega Prime's restoration spread across the galaxy even faster than the original panic. Suddenly, civilizations that had been preparing for war were reconsidering their position. If humans could restore a dead planet in half a day, what else could they do? The answer came from Captain Gary Thompson and his ship, the New Earth. His mission was to visit a system where a plague had wiped out most of the population. The Kepler-186 system was under quarantine. A biological weapon had been released during a civil war, creating a disease that killed 90% of the population and left the survivors unable to reproduce. "Captain," reported Medical Officer Dr. Victoria Wells, "the quarantine has been in place for 50 years. The remaining population is dying slowly." Gary made a decision that would become legend. "Take us into the quarantine zone. Let's see what we can do." Using human medical technology based on wormhole manipulation, Dr. Wells began working on the plague. She could examine the disease at the quantum level and modify it directly. "The plague is engineered," she reported. "Someone designed it to be incurable using conventional medicine." "Can you cure it?" Gary asked. "Better than that," Victoria replied. "I can reverse all the damage it's caused." What happened next redefined what was possible in medicine. Using wormholes to deliver precise treatments directly into infected cells, Victoria not only cured the plague but restored the genetic damage it had caused. Sterile survivors became fertile again. Damaged organs regenerated. Even the dead could be revived if their bodies hadn't decayed too much. Within a week, the Kepler-186 system was not only healthy, but more prosperous than before the plague. These demonstrations had their intended effect. Across the galaxy, civilizations stopped preparing for war and started hoping for partnership. Empress Vex Prime received reports of humanity's peaceful interventions and made a decision that shocked her entire council. "Prepare my personal ship," she commanded. "I'm going to Earth." "Your Majesty," protested General Armor Prime, "that could be dangerous." "General," the Empress replied, "if the humans wanted to hurt us, we'd already be dead. It's time to meet these new gods and see if they're willing to share their power." The message was sent to Earth immediately. The Galactic Empire, the meeting that would reshape galactic civilization, took place above Earth, in a specially constructed space station that demonstrated humanity's new capabilities. The station itself was a marvel, created in 6 hours using quantum manipulation technology. It was larger than most cities and more beautiful than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Empress Vex Prime arrived with a fleet of her most advanced ships, but she felt no confidence in their power. The human escort vessels that met her fleet were sleek and elegant, moving through space without any visible propulsion. They seemed to glide through reality itself, rather than travel through it. "Your Majesty," reported her censor officer, "the human ships are not using any form of engine we can detect. They appear to be manipulating space-time directly." The Empress nodded. She had read all the reports. Humanity had evolved beyond the need for conventional technology. They had become something unprecedented in galactic history. President Helen Barnes welcomed the Empress personally at the docking bay. The meeting was broadcast live across the galaxy, with billions of beings watching to see how their universe would be changed. "Your Majesty," President Barnes said, "welcome to humanity's first interstellar diplomatic station. We hope this meeting will mark the beginning of a new era of cooperation." Empress Vex Prime was struck by the human president's youth and confidence. Most galactic leaders were ancient beings who had ruled for centuries. This human woman seemed barely middle-aged by galactic standards, yet she commanded technology that made the Empire's greatest achievements look primitive. "President Barnes," the Empress replied. "I come here not as a conqueror or negotiator, but as a student. Your species has achieved in months what my civilization has failed to accomplish in millennia. We seek to understand how this is possible." The IEE tour of the station answered that question in ways that amazed even the Empress's most educated advisors. Every system on the station used technology that defied known physics. The lights were powered by controlled miniature stars. The artificial gravity was created by precise manipulation of space-time. Even the air was constantly refreshed by molecular-level atmospheric processors. This station was built using our quantum manipulation technology, explained Dr. Alex Carter, who had joined the diplomatic mission. We can create any material or structure by rearranging matter at the atomic level. The energy requirements must be enormous, said the Empress's chief scientist. Actually, the process requires very little energy, Alex replied. We're not fighting the laws of physics, we're rewriting them. Ambassador Lucas Green had been chosen to lead humanity's diplomatic efforts. His job was to establish formal relationships with the Empire while demonstrating that humans sought partnership, not domination. The Galactic Empire has maintained peace for thousands of years, Lucas said during the formal negotiations. We respect that achievement and want to support it, not replace it. But you have the power to replace it, the Empress pointed out. Your technology makes our entire military obsolete. You could conquer the galaxy without effort. Power without purpose is meaningless, President Barnes replied. Humanity's goal is not conquest. We want to help solve the galaxy's problems and protect civilizations that cannot protect themselves. To demonstrate this commitment, the humans revealed their most ambitious project yet. Dr. Victoria Wells presented the Galactic Health Initiative, a plan to use human medical technology to cure diseases that had plagued alien civilizations for generations. We can eliminate genetic disorders, cure incurable diseases, and even reverse aging in most species, Victoria explained. We want to offer this technology freely to any civilization that needs it. The economic implications were equally revolutionary. Engineer Carlos Martinez outlined the Resource Abundance Program, a system for providing unlimited materials to any world that needed them. Scarcity-based economics will become obsolete, Carlos said. We can create any element, any material, any resource that civilizations require. Wars over resources will no longer be necessary. Captain Brad Mitchell, representing humanity's new military philosophy, presented the most important proposal of all, the Galactic Protection Initiative. Human ships will patrol dangerous regions of space, Brad explained. We'll respond to threats that individual civilizations cannot handle alone. Pirates, hostile aliens, natural disasters will provide protection and assistance to anyone who requests it. The Empress and her advisors listened to these proposals with growing amazement. The humans were offering to solve every major problem that had plagued galactic civilization for millennia, and they were asking for nothing in return except cooperation and friendship. What guarantees do we have that humanity will not abuse this power? Asked General Armor Prime, the Empire's military commander. President Barnes smiled. The same guarantee any civilization has, our character and values. But we understand your concern. That's why we're proposing the creation of the Human Galactic Cooperation Council. Ambassador Lucas explained the council's structure. It would include representatives from every major civilization, with humans holding only advisory roles. The Council would oversee the use of human technology and ensure it was deployed fairly and responsibly. You're giving other species a voice in how your own technology is used? the Empress asked in amazement. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, President Barnes replied. We don't want to become the tyrants we have the capability to be. The formal agreements were signed in a ceremony that was broadcast across the galaxy. The Galactic Empire officially recognized humanity as the protector species, while humans committed to using their power for the benefit of all civilizations. But the real test came in the weeks that followed as human ships began responding to crises across the galaxy. Captain Danny Walsh and his crew aboard the Star's Hope responded to a call from the Rigel system, where a massive solar flare threatened to destroy 3 inhabited planets. Using quantum manipulation technology, they created a protective barrier around the entire star system, redirecting the harmful radiation into harmless energy that dissipated into space. Admiral Scott Davis led a mission to the Andromeda Galaxy's edge, where an ancient weapon left by an extinct civilization had begun destroying star systems. The weapon was designed to be indestructible, but human technology made that irrelevant. They simply changed the weapon's atomic structure, turning it from a galaxy killer into harmless space dust. Dr. Grace Turner solved the resource crisis on Kepler 62F by creating a network of quantum replicators that could produce any material the colony needed. The planet went from desperate poverty to abundant prosperity in a single day. Each successful mission reinforced humanity's reputation as benevolent protectors rather than conquerors. Species that had initially feared human power began to see them as saviors. The transformation was not without challenges. Some humans struggled with the responsibility of godlike power. Dr. Kevin Walsh established training centers on every human world, teaching people how to use quantum manipulation technology safely and ethically. With great power comes great responsibility, Kevin told his students. We must never forget that our actions affect billions of lives across the galaxy. A few human extremists argued that humanity should use its power to establish an empire. General Troy Mitchell's security forces quickly identified and contained these individuals, ensuring they couldn't access the most dangerous technologies. Democracy and freedom are not negotiable, President Barnes declared. We will not allow humanity to become the very thing we have the power to stop. The most moving moment came 6 months after the first diplomatic meeting. The Draconian Republic, once the most feared military force in the galaxy, formally disbanded their war fleets and converted their military ships into exploration vessels. We no longer need weapons, announced War Chief Scar Talon. The humans have shown us that strength comes from protecting others, not conquering them. Similar changes occurred across the galaxy. Military budgets were redirected to scientific research and humanitarian aid. Trade wars ended as human technology made resource conflicts obsolete. Even ancient ethnic conflicts were resolved when human mediators offered technological solutions that benefited all parties. 1 year after Alex Carter's first discovery, the galaxy was unrecognizable. Poverty had been eliminated on hundreds of worlds. Diseases that had plagued civilizations for millennia were cured.